treat these polls? Because we saw Global Info Analytics on the 18th of November, which predicts a win for former President Mahama. So let's engage Dr. Kwame Asasanti. He's Director, Center for European Studies and Political Science Lecturer at the University of Ghana. Doc, good morning to you. I trust you're doing well today.
Good morning.
I trust you're doing well today, Doc.
I am fine.
Great. I'm sure you've seen the current opinion polls by Professor Smart Sapon.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to find out how these polls determine the outcome of the elections, how political parties should treat these polls.
Oh, seriously speaking, when you are looking at polls, there are important components in every electioneering campaign, in the sense that it provides you with the basic raw materials out of which you can build a strategy and then develop messages that will be able to do work. And it costs a lot of money. So if parties are supposed to engage people to do this, it's going to take a fortune from them. But having said this, you know that if you are, it's made available by somebody, then it serves as a good tool for you as a guide for the work that is ahead of you. So I will urge the political parties to take them and then look at them, and however painful the outcome will be in terms of the research findings that they've churned out, you need to look at them, even if you don't agree, and see which area that you can, incorporate into your work, which area you want to pay close attention to. Of course, there are areas you want to throw away and all that. So all in all, you want to use it as a guide for the work that you are doing relative to the elections.
Now, look, as a political scientist, there are various determinants of elections. From where you sit, what will be the determinants of this year's elections?
If you look at the literature in terms of voter choices, there are a number of them. But for Ghana, the important consideration for the ordinary voter and for every human being in this country is economy. How? So anytime you are engaging in electioneering campaign, you want to know the health of the economy so as to develop messages and then churn them out to the electorate. So the economy. Don't make a mistake by saying that, yes, I'm really looking at a population where not everybody is literate and that you can churn anything out. No, the people, the economies of the political economy of the country, the ordinary man is aware of that. They know what to look for when you are looking at a healthy economy. They are looking at inflation because it's a function of prices on the market. They are aware of that. 2016, what was the price of this size of kinky? And the same size of kinky maintained today was the price. They check what? Fuel prices. They're able to know. They know what exists on the market. If you go to market, are you able to afford X amount of goods and services and all that? They are aware. Those who are in businesses that deal with what? Exchange rate and all that. They are aware of exchange rates, the period before and today. They are able to address that. So the economy is number one. And remember, when the economy is stable and is healthy, it robs off all other sectors of the country. So i.e., the second consideration, which is what? Infrastructure development. You will see that if the economy is healthy, you can see a function of that resonating with the people there. You will see government will be able to have resources to undertake infrastructure development in all sectors of the country. If the situation is the otherwise, I'm afraid government will not be able to do much. And remember, if you look at the Constitution, it said every section of this country needs its fair share of infrastructure development. So people are looking up to that. Remember that after this, we are looking at what? Corruption. It's simply because of the devastating effect of what? Corruption and its preponderance, the preponderance nature of corruption in our system and its devastating effect. Voters want to know what are your ideas relative to the fight against corruption. Because research has shown that over $3 billion slip through our fingers every year in terms of what? Corrupt activities. So we want somebody who can manage prudently the resources of the state to be able to safeguard a huge amount of money that go waste through the channel of corruption. You want to also look at jobs because day in, day out, the universities, the schools for that matter, training institutions are churning out a large army of young people who are coming to the world market and there is no job for them. How do you deal with this? It's gradually becoming a headache for government because governments simply are not thinking. What I've seen in this Fourth Republic is that if you have a government that is able to think outside the box, job creation will not be that difficult. And I will give you an example right now. If you look at the Galamsey, which is becoming albatross around the neck of this government, and government cannot take advantage of this and create more jobs, then it's worrying. Because get all these boys who are into Galamsey and then give them license to be trained properly and how to mine. And then they are in business. And then when they see something, they report something. They see people who are not licensed, they report them. You deal with them. Because the sector alone, from research has shown that in the quarter of this year, of engineering in mining, and he was giving this figures out. Within this year, it has been able to employ about, I think, 1 million people and all that. This is to be the game changer. If government is really serious about dealing with unemployment. So beyond, employment issues, people also look at what the health areas about health. People want to look at this and all that. If you look at the conversation, all the political parties, especially the dominant one, NDC and PP, they promise a whole lot of things in the area of health. The last time, when I checked, CDD called them to show at least how much resources have they apportioned for the program relative to health, and where is that money was going to come from. The two dominant parties could not provide answer. It tells you that they engage in just promising without any sitting down to do the mathematics of it. And the same thing also repeated itself when Imani also tried to do similar exercise. It tells you that most of our campaigns are driven by just mere promises. If you pin them down to the mathematics of it, I'm afraid they have nothing to show us. Then beyond, health, agriculture, and the rest, they follow. Let me also state that sometimes too, there are certain issues that comes to the fore and becomes one of the issues that we use to gauge voter choices. You remember the last election, Dumso occupied the attention of many because
the power
of
challenges.
Yes, on economic empowerment or economic livelihoods. It was a big problem. This election, we are still experiencing. I don't know whether to call it doomsday or not, because sometimes
Doc, they say it is doomsday.
Well, whatever they tell people, you see, what is that they don't know that it is a wearer of a shoe who knows where it pinches. If I get electric full supply of power every day, and within a short time there is intermittent power outages and all that, You can't give me a different name. I will define it the way I see it, and I will express either satisfaction or dissatisfaction in terms of voting in that direction. So whatever they call it, I'm not worried about it. Those who receive this service will tell you what it is to do what by way of expression in the election. Then, if you look at what the way Dumso, contributed to the last election, we are going to also see similar thing when we are talking about Galamsey. People are not taking Galamsey for granted because of its ravaging effect on the ecosystem, and then on agriculture and even human lives. Look at the way it is destroying water bodies. People will tell you that now some of the water bodies they are getting cleaner, water content and all that. I tell you, what about what the chemicals that have gone into? Would you see it? You can have water which is as clean as anything, but the content is so poisonous that it is injurious to your health. What about that? Look at the threats of Galamsey relative to agriculture, particularly food production and cocoa. All right. Now, some of these substances, if you talk to experts, they tell you that they've started finding their way into some of the food that we grow here and all that. These are worrying situations that it will not be looked on. People are going to factor them into deciding who to give their mandate to. They want to look at a political party that has what it takes to address the problem head on. So these and other factors are coming. But there's one thing that I also want to shed light on, the issue of ethnicity and religion. People will tell you that, this person, because he's a Christian, he's a Muslim, people are going to follow. I'm afraid to read the literature in this country relative to elections. Ethnicity and religion do not play any important role at all. If that is the case, the analysis will be different. Let's look at the issue of religion. If religion plays any important role, take for instance Dr. Baumia, he wouldn't have won the primaries within the MPP because MPP are predominantly what? Christian group. There are Muslims here, but the predominant group is what? The Christians. Would he win election? No, he won because of other factors, but not the religion. So anybody who plays the religious card is a joke. Nobody will mind you. Let's look at even ethnicity. If we talk about ethnicity, that this person is this and that, he belongs to this ethnic group and all that, he has no, influence at all. Otherwise, when we are talking about elections in Ghana, anytime you mention elections, Akans will win because they are in what? Majority. But has it been that the case in the Fourth Republic or in any of the republics we had? No. Let's even limit ourselves to the Fourth Republic. We have Rawlings and Ever winning election, winning convincingly. We've had President Kufuor and Akan winning and winning convincingly. We have seen what John Mahama, who is a Gunja, who is in a minority group, winning and winning convincingly. So it tells you that ethnicity had very little role in elections. It is next to what? Nothing. The real issues are bread and butter issues. And that is why you remember in 2000, President Kufuor came out with a statement that just examine your economic livelihoods and you want to vote based on that. So what's the term? Not what. And that is going to be what? The message for this election, I can assure you.
Now, Doc, you've enumerated a number of issues: economy, corruption, agri-healthcare, Dumso, Galamsey. Some also have raised questions on security. In the last couple of days, we've seen allegations and counter-allegations. We've had a military officer say, if you foment trouble, I'll beat the hell out of you. Is that also a critical issue going into this election?
When you look at the literature on voter choices, security is not a major issue when people are voting. Because let's face it, we have had a few skirmishes and problems here and there. But by and large, the security, the cohesive apparatus of this country have been able to live up to expectation. That is a fact. in spite of their meager resources and all that, they've been able to what? Deal with what? Election security head on. So that is not a big issue. What the IGP was saying yesterday was an admonition to all of us that, hey, this is what to expect. But if there is anybody who wants to foment trouble, we use the law to deal with you head on. That is normal, and it should be expected by a security officer like himself. And so he's only, reiterating the point that you and I know that need to be brought out in difficult periods like this, so that everybody will not take things for granted. Because we, as a society, we owe it a duty to ourselves to protect the process that we want to engage in, that is the election process. And if we want to be successful, security should be paramount to all of us, that will not do anything to undermine the current peace environment that we find ourselves. So the IGP was just re-echoing that point and making sure that it's not going to be shoved under the carpet, and that he's going to put a premium on that. And he wants the society to come along with him. I applaud him for that. What I want to see is that they will continue to be professional in what they are doing, and that the excesses sometimes we experience in one or two constituencies. For instance, the shooting of 8 people in the last election, that ugly spectacles, which has remained a blot on our democratic credentials. We don't want a repeat of that. And that means that all of us must be responsible and then be vigilant so that we can have liberty.
Now, Doc, I know you come up with your polls in the coming days. How soon should we expect it?
Oh, hopefully.
Hello, Doc.
We are putting. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me? We are undertaking a few things, and then when we are ready, we will let the public know about that. Yes.
Okay, Doc. Before you go, one of the things that was enumerated in this particular poll by Professor Smart Sapon is that the NPP shall secure not less than 148 seats in Parliament. If the last election and the current happenings in Parliament is there anything to go by, from your lenses, what do you see?
This is what he has said. I have not gone to the field. What we are going to bring out is going to be born out of a model that we have used time and again and all that. And he has been to the field. So if that is what he's saying, the story will be confirmed or denied on 7th of December. That is the real test. For polling, it's easy to do, but validation of it is the real test on the day of election. So let's give ourselves time and see what the day will be on the 7th of January of December.
But Doc, is this election likely to see a runoff? The presidential, I mean.
For now, from what he is saying, that is how I'll look at the work from that perspective. He is saying that he has been to the field. You want to be fair to anybody who has gone to the field to do a research and all that, so that you don't just conjecture and all that. So let's grant him that. But as to whether that will be the reality of the time, only is just a matter of time. But I will not sit down and rubbish somebody's work that he has gone to the field to do and all that. If I want to say that, I must come out with something which is the alternative, saying that the alternative is this. But I've told you that what we are working on, we are yet to finalize it. And then when the time comes, I can speak and hit my chest that this is the way to go. Even there, I want to be cautious because I'm dealing with models that have a certain level of limitations and all that. So let's look at it the way it is.
Thank you very much for speaking to us. As always, we appreciate you. That's Dr. Kwame Asah-Asante. He is Director, Center for European Studies and Political Science Lecturer at the University of Ghana. You're still listening to The Morning Star here on Star 103.5 FM. Let me go make some Benjamins. When I come back, there's more for you on the show.